Hi, Hope. I was going to say, you'll probably be like the only person here because all I'm doing is redoing my live from the morning because it didn't save. So I need to have the last little bit for YouTube because some people can't watch it. So that's what I'm doing. Hi, George. Again. Oh, dear. It's been a day, let me tell you. So yeah, we're just going to redo it. Grunwald 0306 says, I'm excited because I usually miss your lives. Hola. All right, so like I promised yesterday, today is going to be the last day, and I already showed some of it this morning, obviously, because you can see the red at the bottom. This morning I furiously stitched the rest of my 3 little bits that I didn't stitch before so that I could put the little red berry or holly berries or whatever you want to call them in there. So what I'll do is, oh, she says, by the way, it's Julie, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Nice to meet you. If you've been watching the whole time, then you know that I like to know everybody's like Instagram handle and their real name, and I try to remember both of them, and sometimes I mess up, but I do try to remember it. So today we're going to kind of finish the rest. So we'll do the very last stitch that we're learning, which is the French knot. And then we will kind of cut off the extra, and I'll show you how I close up the back. I won't be closing up the back of this one because I still have some things to do. So I need a black French knot here. I need to whip the rest of this banner because, as you can see, this one right here is whipped and all the rest are not. And I need to whip the jolly as well. So I have quite a bit left to do on this one before I can close it up. So I've got this one that I do have to close up for the first market on Sunday. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's get started. So what I've done here is, this is just like my practice one. So first I'll show you how to do a French knot, period. And then we'll add wraps and we'll add more threads. So I'm going to start with 3 strands. And we're just going to do 1 wrap. Normally I will kind of zoom in so that you can like see exactly where I'm going up and down. But for this stitch, you need to see both my hands because this is one of those stitches where you're going to put the hoop down, do your bit, and then pick it up again and then finish it. So it's kind of a interactive type thing. You can't just hold it and do everything with one hand. So, what the hell is that? I don't want menswear, River Island. Okay, I want Christmas jams. It's the last day. Right, so let's go. So the first thing we're going to do is the three strands, like I said, and we'll do just 1 wrap. So you're going to come up from the back like this. Yeah, grab the thread, put your needle on the top, and wrap it 1 time. You're going to put it down right next to where you came up, and you're going to pull the thread down. Let's see if it's loose enough. Ugh. You're going to pull it all the way down so that the knot is at the very, very base here. Yeah? So you don't want it to be up in the middle, or else you're going to get like a floppy kind of knot there. It's not what you want. So after you have this, You're just going to gently put your thumb on the edge here. Hi, Meg. And then push your needle through. You're going to hold that thread with your left hand. Not tight, 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 but, you know, a little bit snugly until it all goes through. So there's one. So just like this morning, I'll do another one with one wrap just so you can see it again. So you're going to come up. Hello. Grab the thread with your left hand, put the needle on the top, do one wrap, put it down right next. So this part is important too, because if you put it down through the same hole, then you're going to have your knot, it might go down into that hole, which means that it will go onto the back and there'll be no knot on the top. So just right next to it is where you're going to go down. Put your thumb here to hold the thread, push it through, and there you go. And it makes these cute little baby knots. So that's 3 strands, 1 wrap, and you can see how small they are. Yeah? Meg, every single time I save these, so if you've never gone live on Instagram before, after you go live, it says so and so many people watched your video. Maybe it's 100, maybe it's 20, it doesn't matter, but it shows all their little pictures, all their little profile pictures. Yeah? And then at the very top left-hand corner, it says save. So you need to push save. And if you don't push save, then it won't save it to your phone. And then you can share it to your story. So every day, I'm like so like OTT with the save button. I'm like, save, 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 save. Okay, I think it's saved. And then push share every single time. And I did the exact same thing this morning, and it was like doing the little circle, like thinking. And I was like, oh, it must be saving. And so I've saved it and saved it and saved it, pushed it a couple more times, you know, just to be sure. And then when I went to go upload it on YouTube, guess what wasn't there? My live. But that's okay. I don't really mind. I've literally just poured myself a glass of wine, so it's just sat over to the side. I've got some water. I've got all of you people, so it's fine. I'll just do it again. So this is the 3 strands and 1 wrap, these 2. So we'll do 3 strands and 2 wraps, and you can see that the knot will get bigger. I know, Meg, it's ridiculous. We've just had a whole day of like, what? And then we'll do 3 strands and 3 wraps. So 1, 2, 3. And you're just gonna slightly tug that down so that it's down at the base. And pull her through. Pull her through. So there you go. Last year I borrowed a Christmas tree for my table decoration from a friend. I don't know if she has it anymore, but I need it by Saturday. So instead of going up to the jewelry quarter and try to see if she has it, and because I don't have a car, obviously David's away for the weekend, I just thought I would ask my mother-in-law on the way home if she could just grab me one from Paper Chase. So I said I would call Paper Chase and see if they have any in stock, because online they're only like 6 pounds, but you need 20 pounds for free delivery. Otherwise delivery is 5 pounds. So I was like, well, I'll just ask her. She can get one on the way home, and then all will be well. And that was just when you call, there's a Paper Chase close to her work, but it's in the store called Next. Yeah, this is all going to be a long story, isn't it? So I called Next asking if they had this tree. That's in like the Paper Chase section of Next. And this man did not understand me. He thought I was looking for a product called Paper Chase. And that was about 10 minutes of trying to explain to him that I actually just want the tree, but it's like in the section of the store. Oh, it's been a day, babes. But you know what? It'll be all right. So all I've done here is I've doubled the thread. So you can see I had 3 strands before, and now I've just doubled them and put a knot at the end so that there can be 6 strands, so I don't have to waste more thread. Yeah. And we're going to do the same. So we'll do 6 strands in 1 wrap, 2 wraps, then 3 wraps, and you can see how big the knots can get. And part of this is, obviously I've done it before. Obviously I could have just shown you, here's how big the knots get, because I've already done it. But it's nice to know and even do a couple practice ones yourself, because once you're stitching, you need to know kind of in your own mind and make the decision for yourself how big you want them to be. Yeah? So we'll do 2 wraps like that and put it down. I did say this morning, but this is one of those stitches where you do need to pick up the hoop and do something and then put it back down. So normally in the summer when I'm wearing shorts or like a skirt, I'll be stabbing myself through the thing, because when you put it down, it'll kind of stab because you need to put your needle down. Do you know what I mean? Because you have to lay it down on your lap. I don't really use the hoop stand a lot. I probably should, but... And this one is 3 wraps. So there we go. So you've got 3 strands, 1 wrap, 2 wraps, 3 wraps, and then 6 strands, 1 wrap, 2 wrap, and 3 wraps. And you can see that the knots get much bigger when you use more threads. Yeah? So I'm just going to do a little knot. Oh, Meg says, best go, I'm at work again. We'll message you later. Or bye. Have a good time working. I'm at work too, babes. But have a good night. So there is that. Is it gonna? Yeah, so there's that. So I'm just gonna put this one on, and then I'll put it on upside down, and then you can kind of see how I decide how many reps to do. She says, your work is a lot more fun than mine. I'm not gonna lie, it is fun. Sometimes it'll be the hardest work that you do, but it is a lot of fun. So I'm gonna use the same red that I used this morning, because I want the same kind of berries like that. I think this is the same color. I hope so, because I'm using it. Just gonna do a little knot on the very end. It's very close to the end of that knot, but I think it'll work. Okay, so what I said before was, there we go. I've just kind of made these in random places, these little circles that are meant to be the little holly berries, or I don't really know what other kind of berries there are. There's some white winter berries, I guess, as well. But I just kind of made them in groups of 1 or groups of 3. So you can make them wherever you want for your hoop. Is that as far out as it goes? Yeah, so you can do 1 here, 3 here. You can kind of dot them around. It kind of brings the red from the holly jolly to the bottom and the top and kind of makes it look nice and cohesive. So let's go. Let's do it. So to try to decide how many wraps, I'm going to do all 6 strands. 1, because it's really easy. You can just take it straight off your skein. But 2, you kind of want them to be nice and big so that you can see them. You don't want them to be like tiny little dots. You could also do a good mix of big ones and small ones so that they all kind of go together. But a good way to figure out how many wraps and how big of a berry that you want to do is to do them. So maybe just start with 3. Put it down like that, but don't commit. So you don't want to push it through all the way, and just kind of see, like, is that going to be too big with my design? And I think yes. So earlier, I found that just 1 wrap worked the best for me, because I think that 3 wraps is going to be way too big, and the berries are going to be way too big for the design that we've chosen. So for me, and on mine, I'm just going to do 1 wrap. And you can kind of dot them all over through here. They don't have to be exactly where I've put them, if you know what I mean. Your hoop might be a little bit different. I'm just debating if I want 1 or 3 here. I'll do 3. The other thing to think about is that because we've already stitched a lot through here, like in this little wreath, you don't have to worry about making a knot after each French knot on the back and like cutting the thread and then starting again, because you're not going to see that thread anyways. So I just go dart around wherever on the back of here. Yeah. The other thing to remember is that you don't want to have the top really, really full and then the bottom have like none. So remember to look at it kind of as the whole picture, and see, you know, what's gonna work best. So I'm just doing all 6 strands. I'm doing 1 wrap around. I'm just kind of spacing these out. The other thing to look out for is that if your thread is doing this kind of thing, this situation right here, yeah, it's because you're wrapping your thread around and around and around. You're just gonna have to let your thread dangle and your needle should unwind. So I don't know if you can see that down there, but the needle is kind of twisting around itself, untwisting around itself, I should say. And that's because with the French knot, you're always twisting the thread together. I'm gonna do 3 here too. So you wanna make it easier on yourself. You don't wanna make your life harder, especially with French knots. You don't wanna have a knot on the top of your French knot before you even complete your French knot. Maybe just 1 more right here. Ooh. What is happening back there? was I doing? A different kind of knot. All right, so I'll try that for now and see how that is. I feel like there needs to be one more over here. But let me tell you, once I get started, sometimes I go a little overboard with these. I think that's all right. We've got a couple down here, we've got a couple up here. Just going to do a knot on the back. Okay, so now it's time to close up the back. Now, when I close up the back, I really don't like using any kind of glue or any kind of like permanent. Just realized there's some things that go straight across there. I do not like that. But you don't want to use any kind of glue or any kind of like permanent backing on here. Me coming from an art background, so I went to school for art. I don't like gluing my hoops because it's very permanent. I like to be able to take them off if you get anything on them, if you get dust or dirt on them, if they fall off the wall or your bookshelf. You want to be able to kind of like get that off, you know, and like return it to how it was. So I like the option of always being able to take off this hoop. So the first thing that I like to do is trim all of this extra stuff, because sometimes you'll be working on a piece for days or weeks or even months, so you'll get a bit manky along the edges. So all I'm going to do is just trim it a little bit, and you don't have to measure or anything like that, just eyeball it. You're just going to see and make those edges nice and straight. This is the Joy Kit. It's in the shop. I like to use the big scissors for this. One, because they're for cutting fabric, and the little scissors are not. But two, it gives you a nice, kind of straightens up the fabric when you're cutting it. So we're just going to move that away. So you have something that looks like this. Then we're going to take the white, just a plain white thread. Is that going to be enough? We'll see. Just a plain white thread. And you're going to just lay it around the outside. Ooh, we've got a knot. Just going to lay it around the outside like this. So it overlaps just a little bit, and then snip it off. Then we'll do a running stitch around the outside. So I like to start up here at the top, thread your needle, but you don't need to do a knot on the other end. Just leave it free. You're just going to do a little running stitch. So it goes like this. Before you get started doing this, I would make sure your hoop is all the way tight and pull your fabric all the way around and make sure that your fabric is nice and tight. So you don't want to see any kind of like saggy bits or wrinkles or waves in your fabric when it's in the hoop. It should be nice and tight, completely flat, like that. Yeah? So the running stitch is just in and out like this. And then pull your needle through all of it. You can do it one at a time if you want, but it's quicker if you do that. And you're going to leave the tail like that, because we'll use that to tie it up later. So you're just going to keep going around and around, making sure not to pull this out all the way. You don't want to pull it out all the way. You want to leave the tail where you started from. The other thing that I like about this is that it leaves the back open just a little bit so people can kind of see all of your stitches that you've done. I say people because obviously I sell my hoops, so they're not just for me. And I kind of like to see the backs of them. People can see that there are like thousands of little stitches that go into this. It shouldn't be covered up, you know? I like the back sometimes just as much as the front. I'm sure there's like a bum joke in there somewhere. Like a hoop butt joke, you know? That's what people call them, the hoop butt. And keep going around and around and around. I'm sorry, this is like the most boring part. I know some people will cut their fabric around the edges really short and then glue the fabric to the hoop. So it would look, so you'd cut it like here, all the way short like that, and then you'd glue it around like that. That's fine if you feel like doing that. Some people will do it this way and then also blanket stitch a piece of felt around the edge so that it just covers it up entirely. I know some people will do this and then do like a piece of scrapbook paper or like cardstock and use a circle cutter and cut it out and stick it on the back so you can't see any of the fabric at all. It just goes over the top of the whole thing. I mean, none of it is right or wrong. It just depends on how you feel like doing it. So you do you, you know? But I'm just going to show you how I do it. So you're going to go all the way almost to the end. So there's a little space in between like that. So the front is just how it was before, yeah? And the back should look like this. And you're going to pull each of these. You kind of want them to be the same length because we're just going to tie them in a double knot. So keep pulling them. Yeah, till they're almost the same length. And then you're going to do a knot and then another knot. So essentially a double knot. And be really careful when you do the second knot because you want to tie it tight, but you don't want to snap the threads, and they will snap. So like later, if something got on this hoop or if it fell down and got dirty or just got dust on it, I could always go back and snip these threads here, take the hoop off, wipe it off, wash it off, whatever, and then put it back in the hoop and do another little stitch like that around the outside, the whip stitch, the running stitch. I'm obsessed with the whip stitch. And there you go. I just do a little bow on the back and then you're ready to go. So there's a couple more options that you have now in regards to hanging it. So if you want to, you could take just like a nail. Just a minute, Jessie Bessie, okay? Lie down, just a minute. And put it on the wall, so it's like that. And then just slide this over top of the nail so you just have a circle on the wall. You can do it that way. I'll just put this back, but I'll do it again. So you can take like just a regular piece of twine or ribbon, and you can put it through the middle. Is it gonna fit? Like this. And then you can hang it up on your tree that way. I mean, obviously that's a pretty freaking big hoop to put on the tree, but if you wanted to, that's how you could do it. Or you can put this over a doorknob or over, you know, those like over the door hangers that have like a hook. You know, some people put like towels on them and stuff. You could put that on there like that, so it has like the string as a line and then the circle. You can prop it up on a bookshelf, in your kitchen on a shelf. Yeah, like that. It's up to you, really. So there you go. So obviously this is not what we've been working on. This is just the Joy kit example. But this is how it looks on the back. So there you go. So this is what we have. This is what we've made. I hope you guys had a really great time stitching this up with me. I love seeing all of these finished or near finished hoops when you guys tag me in them. So keep tagging me even if you're not finished right now, at the Barmy Fox or hashtag the Barmy Fox SAL. And yeah, you guys, it's been a wonderful, wonderful month. Like you have no idea. Well, not month, but 3 weeks. Like I said this morning, I was like getting quite emotional because like I can't do this without you. I mean, I can stitch by myself anytime I want. I do it all the time. It's my job. But getting to stitch with you guys is honestly one of the best things. And to see you cheer each other on and kind of like say little things that you like about other people's hoops and just even the likes and the comments and everything, it's just amazing. It's incredible. So I just want to say a really big thank you just for everything. And I hope that I'll see you at the next stitch along. So have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy your Friday. And I will speak with you soon. Okay? Enjoy and bye.